Enough is enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Indie Wrestling Corner with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host, as always, the queen of the Indies, and it's been a month of returns, it feels like, which I'm actually really excited for. So it's been a while. We're bringing back Sweet Cheeks, Joey Silver. I got the shirt. What's going on?
What is up? Thank you so much for having me, Tiffany. Just like we have the queen of the indies, we've got the pro wrestling king of candy, the champion of chocolate, the sultan of sweets, Joey Silver, Sweet Cheeks. It is good to be here.
I'm so glad that you make your return. It's been great, man. It was like you were one of like my first interviews, which is crazy. And like you came back again, and here we are. There's so much to talk about. A lot has happened. So
We go way back to.
we really do. I mean, I was your first podcast, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So they're like, here we are, and like now episode 145. Time flies when we're having fun. But yeah, so man, we gotta catch up. So but guys, if you haven't checked out those interviews, go back. I think he's episode 3, and like, oh man, I forgot the other number of the episode. I forgot to check before I came on to do this podcast. But yeah, definitely go check out those interviews with Joey. But if you're new here I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, referees, backstage, promoters. I got you covered. If you guys got questions for Joey, drop them in the chat. He'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So, man, there's so much that we need to talk about.
A lot of.
My God. So I feel like we need to start with the big bang here, like you went. I was really excited. You got to work in the Nightmare Factory. Tell us about training with QT Marshall, working with Cody Rhodes. This is just nuts. Like, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much. It was such an amazing experience from start to finish. The whole thing was just like incredible. Nightmare Factory is an awesome facility. QT, Cody, QT's wife, Carolyn, who worked with us from a nutritional standpoint, where everyone was really fantastic. I will say, the decision to go down there, that was such a big decision because it is 3 months. And I have a lot of ties here in New York, from not only the companies that I wrestle for, but family and friends and, my girlfriend, of course. So it was like a big question mark. I saw the tweet. They were like, oh, Nightmare Factory, enroll now. And I was like, I shared it with my friend. I said, oh, this would be cool, wouldn't it? Thinking that I wouldn't really ever do it because it's in Georgia for 3 months. And then I kind of kept thinking about it. And my friend who I sent it to was like, you should do it. And then I sent it to another friend, and then I sent it to my brother, I sent it to my girlfriend, sent it to everyone, like my family, and I was like, could I do this? And so, after a few conversations with the most important stakeholders in my life, decided that I would be able to do it, and it would really, hopefully at the time I was hoping that it would put me in the right place to make the next moves and make some jumps. So I think it definitely did that, and I have some, fun stories I'd love to share about the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one thing. Let's see. There was one day we had like a Saturday training. Now, typically the training was Monday through Thursday, and it was 4 hours from 5 to 9 p.m. And one of the Saturday, it was like a special training, and it was just QT and it was a pretty relaxed vibe towards the end of the camp. So he kind of knew he knew everyone's abilities and everything like this. He says, so we were going to have some practice matches, and he said to me, Silver, who do you want to face? Who do you want to wrestle? And I looked around, and I'm like, I don't want to wrestle any of these scrubs. Kidding, I didn't think that, but I looked around and I was like, who do I want to wrestle? And then I looked at him, and I said, can I wrestle you? Kind of like in a joking way. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, sure. And so that was such an important moment for me, I think, because he got to work with me in the ring. We put together the match, and it was a really cool experience just working with him. He's such a professional, so talented, just amazing in every way. Definitely is where he should be, with AEW, and an important role there. But it was just so cool that I kind of stuck my neck out, and asked him to wrestle me. And sure enough, he was into it. And we had a pretty solid, I think it was about a 10-12 minute match. And it was, let me just say, it was one of the hottest days of the year in Georgia. And the air conditioning wasn't on. Oh, no. So we were dying, and I was sweating so much, and I was so blown up. I thought I was going to pass out after the match, but I didn't, thankfully. That would have been embarrassing. So that was the story of me wrestling QT in a full match at training camp. So that was a fun one. That was pretty cool.
What an honor. What an honor, man. And it's like you have, you're talking about asking everybody to go, down to Georgia. And it's just like me, knowing you for so many years now and being at promotions and see the support system, and you fill up the damn seats. It's crazy. That whole section, I always go back to Full Faith Wrestling. Shout out to that promotion. And be almost dying, you being thrown right in front of me in the thing. But I think that's so great. I mean, I'm sure, even like you said, you got so much support even when you announced that you were going down there. I was thrilled for you. But what an opportunity! Amazing opportunity for you.
Yeah. The support, especially on Twitter from people that I didn't know, was kind of the AEW community, was really amazing. People that I don't even know, they're just AEW fans. They're Nightmare Factory fans. They kind of are very in tune with the whole system. Retweeting, sharing, messaging me, congratulating me. It was just a really, really cool thing to be able to be a part of that and kind of get those accolades. It was super cool. And then another quick story, I guess, from towards the end of the camp. All of the members of the camp were circled around the ring, and QT was standing in the ring. And he said, every now and then we get to give one of the campers. They called us campers sometimes. I found it kind of strange. I felt like I was 6 years old. One of the campers, with my backpack and my lunch. We get to give one of the campers an opportunity. It's really a great thing to be on AEW Dark.
Yeah.
And thinking in my head, I'm like, it's gonna be me. And he says, and we're so excited to be able to give that opportunity to JDX. And I was like, no. I mean, truly, I was very happy for him, and he's a super talented wrestler. Definitely check out Justin D. Xavier because he is awesome. But I was also kind of devastated on the inside. I was kind of a big reason why I came to Nightmare Factory was to hopefully get an opportunity on Dark.
Right.
and also to become a better wrestler and all of that, like get in really great shape. And so I was like so heartbroken, and that was like one of the last days of the camp. That was it might have been like 2 weeks before the end of the camp. And then the day, like one of the 2 or 3 days after the camp, I'm back home already. I'm just like chilling, and I get a text from QT, and he says, hey, Joey, are you around to come down to Jacksonville on XY date to be on AEW Dark? And I nearly broke down.
Oh, no.
It was just like, this is what I worked for. Like, that was the moment that I had hoped for, and that dream came true. So it was really a special thing.
Yeah, it was so cool. I love seeing, everybody, and it's nice because the opportunity with AEW, that we see a lot of people, even people that have been on this podcast, and I've been talking with a lot more people now. Like, they've had these opportunities to work dark, which is crazy. So nuts. So let's go there. Let's talk about dark. I mean, we could talk about your most recent one where, like the Gun Club, like, oh my God, and then all the gifts and, the videos that we're seeing on social media. So talk to us a little more into detail about like going there, working with Billy Gunn, like nuts, crazy.
Yeah. So nuts. I mean, as an Attitude Era kid myself, like watching Billy Gunn when I was as a child and through my adolescence, like getting to wrestle him in front of 15,000 people was one of the coolest experiences of my wrestling career to date, for sure. And he was so cool. And, his boys were also so cool, so great to work with. Very giving, very friendly. It was a six-man tag, so in those kind of scenarios, you're not always getting the chance to really show off, or get any of your moves in, or kind of show your character too much. So when we called the match, it was like, all right, you're gonna come in, do this. You're gonna come in, and they all three of them have Southern accents, except for Austin, I think. But Billy comes over. He's like, all right, you come in, do this. You come in, do this. You come in, do this. And then we'll take it home. And I was like, all right, cool. My parents are here. My girlfriend's here. Like, they'll get to see me wrestle in front of 15,000 people, even if it's just taking 1 or 2 bumps, and that's it. But I had this thought, and I consulted Fuego del Sol beforehand because he's a buddy of mine, and he was like, great idea. You should go for it. He also has an accent. So Billy Gunn, when he was done calling all the stuff that he was saying, I went up to him, I tapped him on the shoulder, and I said, I'm Sweet Cheeks. It says Sweet Cheeks across the butt of my tights. You're Mr. Ass. You think there's something we could do here? And, of course, understanding if there's nothing, then there's nothing.
Right.
But maybe let me bring this to the table. And he's like, I like it, kid. And he thought of something like pretty funny that we could come up with. He kind of threw me into the turnbuckle, and then he sees on my rear that it says Sweet Cheeks. He goes, Sweet Cheeks, and he pulls me out, holds my rear end to the camera, to hard cam. He's pointing at my butt, at my cheeks, and he out to the camera, Sweet Cheeks, that's my thing. And there was a great GIF that was floating around Twitter for some time, of a close-up on my cheeks. And I proceed then to kind of like fire up on him. I get a couple punches. I hit the ropes behind me, and I come back, and he meets me with a big boot and just kills me. And then he goes to pull his tights down, to show his cheeks. So we kind of had like a whole ass moment.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful thing. And Billy Gunn, what a guy, what a cool guy to work with. And his sons also were really cool.
What a moment. Like, that's a fun moment. It's not even like, oh, okay, boom, done. Like, now you have this moment. You're a GIF now. Like, you're a video. Like, this was huge. I know, what was it? New York when me and April ran into you, and then we saw TJ Crawford. We're like, much love to TJ. Like, heal up quick. Every time his name comes up, I always like, I miss him. Like, but we were excited. We saw you. We haven't seen you in a while, so it was nice when we were hoping that when we saw you in the ring, and we're like, okay, but cool moment.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. Unfortunately, not all of the opportunities come, but. When they do, I try to take advantage as best I can, and there should be some opportunities coming up in the very, very near future.
Ooh, there you go, guys. Let me get some love into this chat. I see all you guys. Don't worry. I'm sorry. We've just chatted here. Melissa's in the chat. I guess Azalea's watching. Hi, Azalea. MGB's in the chat. He goes, Joey, busy doing schoolwork, but wanted to see at least part of the live. We'll catch the rest of the show on later. Kenneth's in the chat. He says hi. Ryan T's in the chat. He goes, awesome talent and true pro. Sky is the limit. Ray's Lighting's in here. He said, question for Joey, where is the sweets?
I got him in the cabinet over there. Don't worry.
There you go. April says, you're good cop, bad cop. The New York thing. Good cop, bad cop says, why did I hear Billy's boys and not assume it was his sons and think of other definitions? Oh my. So I can't with you guys. So we're gonna bring it up. Okay, House of Glory's back. I got to see ya. It was great. I was rather confused. I was expecting, Sweet Cheeks gimmick. And you came out as a cop, and we were like, oh, okay, like, what's going on here? You shocked the world. You shocked me. You shocked a bunch of us. So, but it was nice to see House of Glory is back. You made your debut there, which was great. So let's talk about that.
Look, House of Glory has been a goal promotion to wrestle for since before I even started training there. So that is my home school, and I have a lot of pride there, and I always kind of thought like, it's a primarily like Black and Latino student base and the roster, and for all intents and purposes, the crowd too. And I kind of accepted that, like, maybe I'm not going to make it onto this roster. And I was okay with that. It's something that definitely was a goal of mine to make it onto their shows. But I kind of accepted that maybe I'm not the right fit. But then they approached me and they said, we have this idea. And we want you to be in this like cop stable, HOGPD. And at first I was like, that's not really me. That's not Sweet Cheeks. That's not the character that I have developed.
Right.
Worked so hard to perfect. And at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I will still be able to go out there, wrestle in front of an amazing crowd, and it doesn't really matter what I'm wearing, what the gimmick is, what the character is.
Right.
Like, they're asking me to be on their show, and so I accepted it. I'm not going to let pride get in the way of such a huge opportunity like that. So I decided, how can I kind of like pull this thread through of being Sweet Cheeks while also being this cop. And I knew that I would be the comedic relief of the group of HOGPD. So I said, this is perfect. Let me be Officer Sweet Cheeks. I'll always have a lollipop in my mouth. I'll kind of have these like quippy lines in promos, and I'll kind of do like similar Sweet Cheeks move set and kind of keep the vibe, you know. It's like the Sweet Cheeks vibe. I kind of picture it like Sweet Cheeks mixed with Orange Cassidy mixed with a police officer, and I think that's kind of what you get with Officer Sweet Cheeks. The first show, I wanted to make sure that I like cemented myself as someone who belonged there, because the crowd can be tough, as you well know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got to do something like really crazy.
Yeah. Give me a heart attack. Why don't you?
So I did.
Yeah.
I think I might have gotten the pop of the night.
Yeah,
Maybe
did.
from like Red and Osprey. But I went to the top rope. I did like the top rope walk, like I do, shaking my hips. I think people were a little confused by that. They were like, what the hell is going on here? Who is this guy? And then I look down, I look up, and I'm like, this is it. This is the moment to make magic.
Yeah.
And I said, F it. And I backflipped outside the ring onto the other opponents. And it was like one of the craziest moves I've ever done. But it paid off tenfold. Like, it paid off big time. I think from that moment on, people were like, oh, this guy, we like this guy.
Yeah.
So it was such a cool experience. And, February 12th coming up very soon is the next HOG show. So should be some really cool things going on there. I know Alex Shelley's going to be there.
Private Party.
White, Private Party, and a bunch of other, Rich Swan, a bunch of other really, really, really cool names. And it's going to be a great show. I'm curious to kind of get your thoughts, and anyone else who might have been at the show in the chat, even though I can't see the chat.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Curious to get your thoughts on HOG, on the show, on your favorite parts, on me, and all that.
You gave me a heart attack. You gave me a heart attack during that. You guys will make me nervous, but that's the thing. But it's like, again, I'm always gonna be biased with a lot of people, and I know I'm supposed to be unbiased. I'm a podcaster, but it is what it is. I'm biased. I bring on people that I really enjoy onto this podcast. And like I said, I watched you go from regular Joey Silver in silver tights. I watch you go to Sweet Cheeks, and then I watch you go into Officer Sweet Cheeks, pretty much. So it's crazy because House of Glory is kind of one of the first beginning promotions that I started exploring in the indies. I mean, I was going a lot to NYWC before I started coming to House of Glory. These are all promotions pretty much in New York, who not sure if they're just watching this podcast for the first time. So that's why like Joey's one of the special ones to me, because of like how far back we go. But you can't go wrong with House of Glory. They're always putting bangers over there. It's always packed. It's always packed in there, so it's fun. I mean, you worked with Smiley, it's weird because I think the more deeper and deeper that I get into podcast world and getting deeper with wrestlers and being backstage, I'm starting to notice things a lot differently than when I was just a fan not doing this stuff. So I'm seeing things like, so I'm seeing like Smiley protecting the shit out of you for you to do that. And, spots like that. Encore is another one that like people, cannot sleep on because this kid is good.
He's watch. I just saw actually he announced today that he's entering into the Super 8 tournament, the ECW Super 8, which is really, really special. So congrats, Encore.
Yeah, so it's just nuts. I mean, every time I go to House of Glory, it's great. You run into a bunch of people. Me and April were having fun. Melissa, Smiley, and Encore are a lot. Yeah, they are. They're fun. That was a lot of fun. I think I was sending Melissa clips your match and stuff with Mason. So I got, again, a lot of people, a lot of names you guys know that you've seen on the podcast, that I see at other promotions, and people rip my signs and other stuff like that. But, you know,
Part of the show.
it's part of the show. So, you know, but I love it. But yeah, so yeah, great stuff. I'm looking forward. I'm not going to be able to be at that House of Glory. Again, if anybody can figure out how to clone me, let me know, because I try to support as many promotions as I can. And if I can't make it, I try to catch up on those shows. So this is the next House of Glory. I'm sad. I'm going to miss it. But have no fear. This is what IWTV, Fight TV, all that stuff is for, you know, on replay. So
not just one of you. We need like 7 or 8.
We do.
But there's a lot of shows sometimes.
There
and
is.
You go to all of them.
I go to a lot. It's hard. I you know, I feel bad sometimes. I support so many different people. You know, and I do watch stuff. You know, I do watch people's stuff if I can't make it. So that's the one thing about me. Sometimes, like, I'll be in Zoom parties or Skype parties and I'll be watching old matches. I mean, Jesus, we just had Arcadia on, and we're telling Arcadia we went all the way back to 2012 watching stuff of him, you know. So I'm real deal.
He's a dream match of mine too. So maybe this year we'll see if we get to tie it up.
Oh shit, I can't. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. Get going up. Going in Arcadia wrestling. I can't. You guys are killing me. But since Melissa,
I'm wrestling.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm wrestling going.
I know. And like, you guys are killing me. So I'm gonna pull it up now because, you know, my God, why again another date? Why is everything running the same date? I can't. I'm like disgusted because I believe I'm going somewhere else. Or I gotta check. I'm pretty sure. I'm so pissed that this is happening. But I've seen you guys in like tag form, not together against each other. So I had that fun watching you guys and him being Krampus. And you know, we'll always go back to the clip of you sitting on him asking for candy.
That was so fun, that match. That was really great.
I know.
Really very creative there.
I know. We need Xander, you're in the chat. Can you like edit faster so, you know, we could see all this footage, like, you know, like, because it's supposed to come out eventually, like on Twitch, yeah. All that you know, all that stuff. But those are good times. So, but I want to talk about, you know, it's funny, like I said, Melissa's in the chat. So, you know, here we go. You're gonna wrestle my other husband, because Joey's part of my list of husbands, so he's wrestling my other list of husbands. So, but we're gonna talk about KTV, okay? And right before you went to Nightmare Factory, I mean, you lost the I-Championship to BT Bull, and it was like, and then you got attacked by KTV. So you came back, your first match back into the ring, you wrestled KTV. And then you're going to wrestle KTV again coming up.
Yeah, I mean, you could say I was attacked. You could say I was viciously beat down. You could say I was left for dead. The man got into the ring. He's a beast. I mean, that's why his name is Kyle the Beast. Like, yeah. We had a moment in that match with BT Bull. And I ended up losing the match and lost the I-Championship. And he came after me like freaking no other. Yeah. So it wasn't long after that. After I returned from the Nightmare Factory, that I had to come back and answer his open challenge. So we did that. I lost again. I think in 2021 I lost every single match.
Oh no. It's like you had your opportunity. You don't get to win anything pretty much.
That's right. It was not my year, 2021. My win-loss record. But yeah, so he beat me in that match, and then again beat me down after the match. So it was really brutal. And this is my opportunity to kind of like really, you know, get revenge on him because he took advantage of me in a weakened state and in a beaten state to really beat me down even more. It was like he cashed in Money in the Bank almost after like a huge match, and he was just it was easy work for him because I was dead tired. I was already beaten, so never the right way to go about things, KTB. So yeah, February 19th.
My goodness.
We're gonna give it our all.
Yeah. Oof.
Show them what Sweet Cheeks is all about, and hopefully this time, I come out on top.
Yeah, it's great because when I can't make the shows and I have favorites at the shows because of the fact that I have other friends like Melissa, she'll be sending me footage and photos of your guys' matches. I won't be there. I'll be in Atlantic City. I'll be at H2O and then GCW so that day, but that's okay. Thank you, Melissa. This is why I have lots of wrestling friends, so they can send me footage pretty much. I keep tabs. I definitely keep tabs. So true fan over here. There's love into the chat. What's up, Sky? How are you? Everything Pro Wrestling Conrad's in here. Give him some love on his channel as well. We love him here. He wants to know favorite vegetable and next candy to look out for.
Ooh, vegetables. Favorite vegetable. I'm gonna go Brussels sprouts.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
I know. I recently had Brussels sprouts at a restaurant though, and they were amazing because they were drizzled in honey. So they were like sweet Brussels sprouts. But yeah, I think if you cook them right, they could be. They
can be. You're 100% right on that. I mean, again, I can go back. I could talk so many matches with you. Like literally, like I wrote a bunch of notes for me to sit here and talk with you. Like there's so much happened. Again, like you can't say that I don't know anything about you, But we go back to Full Faith Wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
You work with Vicky Guerrero, like. Again, like with the fact of like you being part of Nightmare Factory and then like having this opportunity outside, those clips are funny too. Like go follow like his Instagram, his Twitters, all that if you're not, if you haven't seen Joey before, but my God, so cool.
Vicky Guerrero was actually super, super great to work with as well. I met her at AEW Dark. Mm-hmm. When I did that appearance, the first one in August, and she was already booked for Full Faith Wrestling, and she had a lot of conversations with Mike Magnum already. Mm-hmm. And I went up to her. I think he might have given her the heads up that I would be there. So I went up to her. I said, "Hey, Vicky, I'm Joey Silver, going to be on Full Faith Wrestling." And she was like, "Oh, my God." She was so sweet. And she was super, super nice. She was like, "I can't wait to work with you. We're going to have so much fun. I've got a lollipop, like a small lollipop I want to bring to the ring and like taunt you with it." I'm like, this is great. She is like hook, line, and sinker. She's in. So she was super fun to work with and really, really nice, down for anything when it came to like getting in the ring. And, we did a whole thing where she had a fight with my mom. She got into that with her at ringside. So it was just really, really fun. And she was a blast. Such a sweetheart.
Oh man. So great. So great. Yeah. I love those clips. It's nice, like, seeing all that stuff. So, hopefully I can get back to one of those Full Faith Wrestling shows. I'm sad, like, things, I can't. You're right. I need, like, 8 of me. So, like, go all over the place. It sucks. So let's talk about this because it's just so funny that I was scrolling recently, and we were talking about Dave Cole, and I had put out a post earlier because I was talking to shout out to Becca, because Becca was telling me that she makes pops, and we were comparing pops, and I was showing her how I have a Gangone pop and I have a Zane pop, and then I'm like, damn, I was like, I need some more pops, of wrestlers in my life, like ASAP, so we were talking about that, but we go back to Azalea's birthday, and Melissa threw her, a wrestling birthday. And I remember having this conversation with her, and she was like, everything's WWE. But luckily, well, you guys rock. And you guys like helped out with like 8x10s and shirts and all this stuff for Azalea for her birthday and stuff. And Melissa reached out to Dave Cole for a pop. So I'm gonna bring it up on the screen for anybody. If you guys are listening on the audio version, come back to the video version to see this. And again, like today was just a conversation about pops. But the detail that Dave Cole put into your pop is insane. And I don't think he knew you, but I think he was so excited. Like I think when he saw everything of like the details of this, just even like when I told him about like Gangone, that I was like, okay, I need it to be the gold gear, and he's like, he's got gold gear, and then I sent him a picture. He's like, oh, he got so excited he started working on it like the next day. So like this pop, I'm like, damn, this pop is just so cute. Like, I mean, how cool. You're a pop, Joey. Like, how cool is that?
Pop.
You're a pop.
It is so cool. One of the coolest honors that I've had as a wrestler is to have a Funko Pop made of me. So cool. I feel like I have these iconic pieces that are part of my attire, and that's by design. I wanted my aura, my character to be easily dressed up as Azalea.
Yes.
Easily drawn, easily created into like a recognizable action figure or Funko Pop, just easy to recognize. So all of these pieces that are part of my attire, for example, the fur jacket, the light up jacket, the headband, the sunglasses, and the tights, and the candy necklace that I come out to the ring with, those are all kind of like part of the shtick, if you will. Just like John Cena has the hat, the armbands, the T-shirt. Like everyone's got their, Hulk Hogan in his later 2000s run, like the bandana, the feather boa, like
right.
the red and yellow shirt and tights. Just kind of like these iconic pieces. So it was super cool to see it on a Funko Pop.
Yeah, so cool. Shout out to Queen of Ani, because I know she loves wrestling fashion, and every time that you would come out, she would always tweet at you that she's like, yes, honey, I'm here for wrestling fashion, like
Yeah, that is.
Shout out to her. I love her so much. But it's an experience, and I always talk about, I think we talked about it the last time that you were here, that I was like, I remember when we were having a conversation, you were telling me that you were going to develop like a new character, and you started telling me about it. I was really excited. So it's so cool to see in person. It's an experience if nobody's watched it. Sky, I think in the chat, is new to you, so definitely I'm gonna send you some stuff of Joey so you can see Joey. Xander's in chat, he goes, I miss the light up jacket. Yeah, we need the light up jacket more in our lives.
We all do. You know what? I miss the lights. I miss the Technicolor lights.
Yeah.
I haven't wrestled all of January, so I miss wrestling.
Book Joey. Why are you guys not booking Joey? Okay, like make it happen.
January, but
January's weird.
February is picking up very quickly.
Good. Man, excited. Since we're talking about like Candy, I mean, you made your debut at NFW as well, so it was like Candy versus Candy with oh my god, I just went like freaking blank right now. Damn, what the heck? Keenan, was it Keenan Moore, right? Like, yeah, Keenan Moore. There, just sorry about that. But yeah, it was the sweetest match ever. Like, that was fun. That brought the candy. There was a lot of candy.
Yeah, we incorporated a lot of candy in that match. It was a fun one. It was that was the one match I won of 2021.
There you go.
On that match. But yeah, that was really a fun one. I know we had Azalea in the crowd and Melissa, and we had you in the crowd, and we had an alien in the crowd.
Fucking
I might
alien.
have performed for an alien. But yeah, it was great. That was a fun one. A lot of candy.
It was one of those shows that we had a lot of fun. We did. There was too much going on. There was a lot of laughs, and like, you know, I appreciate moments like that, and I love when you guys play into it. John, shout out to John. They brought in the alien. The alien got incorporated into so many matches. Definitely go check out NFW. It's on YouTube. Joey's match is on YouTube. Definitely go check that match out. My God, the damn alien! I can't. Too much. So Xander said, "I'll see what I could do for bookings." Oh snap!
All right.
Oh snap!
Hit me up.
There you go. Okay, so we got some fan tweets. So let's start with April. She goes, "What are some of your favorite moments about training at the Nightmare Factory?"
Well, I shared one of them with, the story about QT and wrestling him.
Right.
You know what? I really, I got to get in the ring with Cody as well on a few occasions, just as part of kind of training, taking heat, drills. And it was just so cool being in the ring with him as, you know, this kind of second generation, like he's been involved in wrestling for his entire life, between, Dustin and Dusty. It just felt like so special being in the ring with him. And he has such a magnetic personality. Like he's just someone who walks into the room, walks into the training center, and you're like, damn, I want to be friends with that guy. Or like, I want to know about that guy. So just all of the opportunities that I got to have in the ring with him, that was really great. And a lot of the guys that we, spent the camp with were just really cool, just really fun guys to be around. Here's a funny story. So I have a few shirts that I wear during training, and one of them I got during a pull-up contest at a wrestling show. It was like if you did a certain number of pull-ups, you get a t-shirt for the Marines. And so I got this like nice dry fit shirt that says Marines on the back and on the front. And I never drew attention to it or said anything, but in training, I was always like a pretty quiet kind of guy. Like I would be there, I would do everything I was told, and then I'd like kind of put my hands behind my back and stay focused, good listener, kind of how I was brought into the business and told how that's how you should act. So that's how I act. And I guess I have this kind of crew cut haircut, and it must have been like 6 or 7 weeks into the 3-month training where we were out to lunch with some of the guys, and they were like, this one guy in particular, JDX, who I mentioned before, he was like, "So Sweet Cheeks, what's it like being a Marine?" And I was eating my food. I like kind of half heard him, and I just figured he wasn't really talking to me, so I ignored him. And he was like, "Sweet Cheeks?" He like, and I was like, "You're talking to me?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, what was it like? Like, where did you serve? What was it like being a Marine?" And I was like, "Oh my God." All these guys think that I was a Marine. Like I wasn't. I definitely wasn't. But it was so funny that for weeks and weeks they thought that I was a Marine. It might have even been like 10 weeks, like right towards the end of the camp. And they were like, yeah, what was the food like in the Marines?
Oh
And
my
I was
God.
like, guys, sorry if I misled you, but I was never a Marine. Just wear the shirt. So, hilarious and like kind of awkward when they were like, "Oh, you're not a Marine? Oh, we all thought you were."
Oh, that's funny. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was-
Might have been a good thing. Maybe it went into your favor, Brittany. You never know.
they were intimidated by
Yeah.
me.
Her second, oh my God, that's so funny. Her second question was, will we be seeing firefighter cheeks in the ring?
I never say never, right? That's the thing
Yeah.
in wrestling. I have no plans of adapting firefighter cheeks, but
You never know.
never know.
You never know. Alex in the chat, he goes, hey, that's the former Full Faith Wrestling light heavyweight champion. Yes, it is. So.
Yes, it's true.
Yes, it is. So let's see. Next fan tweet. Good cop, bad cop. Got to come back with the anagrams for everybody. He goes, with Joey Silver being an anagram of relieves joy, can you tell us your highlights from the previous 2 interviews on Under the Ropes?
You know, it's not a particular moment, Tiffany. It's kind of just catching up with you,
Yeah.
talking about experiences. You give such a great vibe, and we've talked about this in the past, but you really care and you really give a damn about the wrestlers, and you follow along the journeys, you show up at the shows, and you truly support all of the wrestlers.
Yeah.
And that's just why I love coming on here and just talking and catching up with you.
Yeah.
So it always means a lot to get this special time and then to see you at shows too.
Oh, I love that. It was a nice tweet when he put that out. I was like, I love this. I was like, this is a good anagram one. Not that his ones aren't good at all, because they crack me up sometimes. But this one was like, oh damn, it just hit the feels right now. I was like, but thank you. You know, you're amazing. I do. So that's one thing I say it to anybody that comes on this podcast. I take damn pride in this podcast, on the Under the Ropes, anything I do. But with the Under the Ropes series, it's special. I get to chat with a bunch of people that I like to support. So you're not going to see people on here that like I know nothing about, because I like to know my guests, and a lot of times I get to see them in person, which is great. And if I don't see them in person, I make my business that eventually I do see them in person. But I do. I care a lot. So, but thank you, Joey. You're great. I love you. You know that. So here we got another fan tweet. So this one was funny. This is from Jack Tomlinson. That's he tweeted at me. He goes, hey, that's my AEW tag partner. Ask him how it was to share the ring with the leader of the Jack Pack, and when you're going to get Jack on Under the Ropes. Well, we talked, by the way, before we get into that, Jack is coming on to Under the Ropes in the beginning of March. And there's reasons for why we're having him come in March, is because the Indie Wrestling Corner is sponsoring his match with MSP. So we're going to talk to there. But Joey, tell us a little bit about working with him.
Wow, Jack. I mean, when he's not on screen as Spider-Man or protecting the city, he was a great guy to work with. He looks exactly like Tom Holland. So I think he gets that a lot. But he was really cool to work with. Very, very giving in the ring as well. Guy's ripped. So
Yeah.
good for him. Good on that. He's got like a 12-pack or something. Wish I had that. So, but other than that, just very nice guy, very quiet and respectful. And yeah, I think he's got a lot of potential as far as wrestling goes. So keep an eye on Jack Tomlinson. I know he does some vlogs too. He calls himself the Vestler, the vlog wrestler. Vlogs are in right now.
Yeah.
Vlogs are in between Sammy Guevara, There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of vlogs out there.
Yeah, they're fun. They're definitely fun. Maybe you'll think of a question to return the favor for him, so we can
Oh,
ask him live on the podcast. So
perhaps. Oh.
you let me know if you got any dirt you want me to ask him.
Got some dirt to dig on.
There you go. You got a little bit of time. So, but yeah, like I said, he'll be coming in March. So we got some exciting news with that. So you guys got a little preview of him coming on. So we're gonna go with the key here. It's very dear to my heart. Everybody that listens to this podcast, I'm working on the project too. If anybody wants to be part of it, hit me up. Wrestling with Positivity. So exciting. I've incorporated this into all my interviews since the last project, and like I said, I'm doing a secondary project of it. So again, anybody, I'm open to whatever. So I've been incorporating it into my Under the Rope series with anybody that comes onto this podcast, because there's too much negative out there. We like to focus on the positive in wrestling. So for you, anything that comes to mind, whether it was something you've done for a fan, maybe something a fan's done for you, maybe something you've done for a wrestler, anything that sticks out into your brain that you would share with us that a normal person wouldn't know about.
That's a great question. Just anything like a positive experience.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're going for.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. At the last, maybe I'll share too. At the last AEW Dark Elevation that I did at the UBS Arena, before the show, Cody Rhodes asked me if I could pick him up a pair of shoes, and I was like, "Yeah, sure. Like, any color, any reason? Like, what's going on?" He was like, "Yeah, just red, white, and blue if you can, and just whatever they cost, size 13 shoe, just go out if you can pick me up a pair of shoes." And I was like, all right. So I go to a nearby mall, and I picked him up the coolest pair of LeBrons that I could find, and they were blue and white, missing red. Tried to get red. There were some really cool ones, but they didn't have his size. So I came back, brought him the size 13 LeBrons. They looked like space shoes. They were super cool. He was really, really appreciative. And he Venmo'd me for the shoes double what they cost, and said, keep the change. So that was like, really, I think that speaks volumes about who he is as a person, and he really appreciates people that will kind of go out of the way for him. So he was really great, and that was such a positive experience in my mind. And one thing, so that was one, and then the other, I guess, would be, as a fan of wrestling, I went to WrestleMania 27 in Atlanta. And that was my first WrestleMania that I went to. And my friends and I, we were kind of like stalker boys. So we were waiting outside the hotel that the wrestlers were staying at. And we saw Edge walking across the street, and we ran up to him immediately. And then there was kind of a little cluster of maybe 15 people that were kind of waving pieces of paper and cameras in front of his face. And anyone, I think no one would have been mad if he was like, "Oh, guys, sorry, I gotta go, got this thing to go to, or gonna go work out," whatever. But he stopped and took a picture with everyone, had a little conversation, and it was so cool. And he is probably the nicest WWE wrestler that I interacted with. Just really, really sweet to take time out of his day. And, maybe it was 5 minutes, but to me, my friends, and probably all of the other people that were there, it was probably the coolest part of their weekend. and the coolest part of my weekend, because that WrestleMania was pretty awful. But yeah, that was the positive experience and interaction that I had. And if I could share a quick third one, just every opportunity I get the chance to interact with Azalea is super special and important to me, because she is like Sweet Cheek's biggest fan. At least she's top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
And she is just so cool and so sweet, and I love hanging out with her at the shows at intermission. And during the match, like giving her some candy and all of that. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Aw. See, this is what I love. I yearn for this stuff. So that's why I do that whole wrestling with positivity. It's very dear to my heart. I love these stories. But Melissa had wrote in the chat, and she blowing kisses at you too. She said, can we get more Sweet Cheeks versus Charles Mason? And can you strangle him with the candy necklace?
Now that's a good idea. I think, I don't know if it's when it will happen.
It needs to happen. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. Because even with me, I mean, that's one thing. Sky, if you're in the chat, this is what you need to watch. You need to watch any match with Joey and Charles Mason. I know she's scared to death of him. But listen, that's another story. But I feel like that's definitely the first time I know that, like, I seen you both was Full Faith Wrestling in the 6-way when you won the belt. And it was just so funny because I'm like looking at Mason, I'm like, what the now I just have fun with him. Now he's just Muff Cabbage now. But that's the whole story. But you guys together, like, in all seriousness, like, take everything else out of the table or whatever, you guys have great chemistry together. I always say this. I know I've said it through the years on social and posted it a lot of times. I posted a lot of clips with you guys at it. Definitely at the promotion that we don't speak of anymore, with you, him, and Casey Catal, but again, like, whatever it is, like, these are some of the best matches, but again, you guys have great chemistry, and throughout the time I feel like you won up your last match with each other. So the way that you guys have evolved in your characters now, I really need to see it.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you. And yeah, we haven't interacted, I don't believe, as these versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be really fun. Actually, we did.
You did. It just never aired.
Oh.
I know about it. Yeah, it never aired.
Oh, the match that never was.
Yeah.
Wow, I reached out to IWTV.
No, they don't have it.
6 times. They were like, they never responded, actually. So
they don't have it. I think Xander, I don't know if they have it.
Wow.
GoPro. Go message Frank. Because I know.
I don't think they had it. They weren't working that one.
Oh, they weren't. Oh, well, the match that never happened. The match that happened that never happened.
Yeah, wow. I
Yeah.
mean, I hope we can get that match somewhere. Whether it's
NFW.
HOG. I mean,
There's a couple of places that this could happen.
I would love to do it at Limitless.
Oh, man.
That would be something special.
I gotta get my butt up there too. Another great promotion, bucket list promotion. I'm getting up there this year. Alex is throwing a bunch of matches that he loves. He said you versus Shannon Moore. Yeah, he gave me a heart attack when he got thrown into the walkway. And he said I want Sweet Cheeks versus Johnny Malloy. I love Johnny Malloy. Like, he's so great. Like, yeah, SWA is another promotion. They're back now, I think. I know they took a break and they're back, which is great. I was talking to Johnny about that at the bar one night, and I was telling him that the time that I didn't know about deathmatch wrestling at the time, and I watched him get skewered, and I got up and left we had this conversation. Now I'm all for it, but like, when you're not prepared and you don't know anything about it, yeah, I got up and walked out. So that's a little story about me that nobody really knew. So
It's definitely jarring.
yeah.
You're not like used to that, or you've never seen it, or you are not. I remember the first time I saw hardcore wrestling. That was at a skating rink on Long Island at a show called UXW. I meant to like look this up recently because I was kind of curious as to where some of these guys were. But it Balls Mahoney. I don't remember who he was facing, but he was bleeding like a stuck pig, and he was breathing fireballs at people, and it was like really a lot for me as a 13-year-old.
Yeah. It's a lot.
And I like had some nightmares about Balls Mahoney for a little while, but I grew to love watching deathmatch wrestling. I love, supporting a lot of these guys and what they do. I think it's really, really cool, and kind of like the ultimate. It's not like the ultimate sacrifice because they're not soldiers going to war, but it's like the ultimate dedication to an art form. It's like bleeding. So that's why I love it. And Casanova Valentine, that's my boy.
Oh, is there like a thought here? Like, first death match possibility? No
way. No. I'll do a no ring match. I'll do a hardcore match. I've done hardcore in the past, but like when it comes to tacks and skewers and barbed wire, keep me away from it.
Sorry.
I'll watch happily as a fan.
Sorry, Casanova. Man, I thought we were going there, man. Like,
sorry.
That's where I thought we were going. Like, oh, okay. Like, it was funny because my next question is going to be like, let's manifest some matches. I mean, you already said like Arcadia would be a great one. But again, like there's so many new talent. I like to go this way. I like to go for the newer talent, that's coming, with the eyes now. Like it's crazy. The town's getting younger and younger and younger. Anybody caught your eye that you want to get into the ring with?
Well, I was already in the ring with a Jaden Vallow. That guy is super, super talented. He's an NYWC grown talent. And he was also on the AEW Dark Elevation at UBS Arena. So definitely a fan of his. Really fun to watch. As far as other young talent, let's see. There is Elijah Eden. He's kind of Smiley took him under his wing, and they've been doing a lot of cool stuff. He is a House of Glory talent as well. So I'd like to, tango with Elijah Eden. That would be pretty cool. There's another guy, Osito. He's another House of Glory guy that I love to watch. I've kind of seen him come in from the beginning, from his start as a trainee and to where he is now. He's just incredible. So excited to hopefully work with him one day.
That's awesome. Speaking of awesome, Matt Awesome's in the chat. Shout out to you. Awesome. I love you so much. He goes, memories of me and Joey being the final four in the Violence and Suffering Battle Royal. Like, how many times have I posted those clips? It was like one of my favorite Violence and Suffering shows. Like, it really was. And to like see that you got in there as well, which is great. And then Matt with the chancla. Like, I just saw Matt at Hammerstein.
The chancla has been eliminated.
Oh my God, Shane, man, he didn't think he was gonna get a pop for that.
Yeah, that was the line of the night. Obviously, we still talk about it to this day. But VXS still waiting for my opportunity from that battle royal.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, so maybe one of these days, we'll see what happens with that. So I have two final questions for you. If you guys got anything else, drop them in the chat. So we're not going to do long-term goals because I feel like, We need to be a little more shorter with some goals. So let's go for 2022. Any goals?
I would love to wrestle internationally. That's a goal of mine, whether it be, you know, a neighboring country, Canada, Mexico. But I'd also love to head over to Europe, to Japan, to Australia, wherever. That's a goal of mine. So hoping to wrestle in another country this year. Let's take Sweet Cheeks International.
Okay. Well, Sky's from UK. Sky, make some, elbows into your trainers over there. Like, hey, cough, cough. Like, another person from the States want to come on over. So we'll see. Maybe that'll happen.
That would
be great. So, I know like we've talked about this on prior interviews, that I like to end it off on a positive note, but I feel like you're freshly seasoned. You got more, you got more experience that you can pass on for people like Sky who just started training, people that are thinking, maybe they want to become a wrestler. Any new advice that you can hand over to them?
My advice, I have a lot of advice, but I guess one thing would just be, don't be afraid to try stuff out and see what sticks. For me, I started off, like Tiffany said, as this kind of like white meat baby face, Joey Silver, wearing silver tights, little lightning bolts on the sides, and it was like kind of generic. And for a while, I had the idea of Sweet Cheeks germinating for a long, long time, like too long. And I should have done it earlier, but I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure how it would be received. And when I finally did it, and I was really confident in it, and I just felt like it was the time, and let me have some fun with this thing. I felt so relieved and so happy that I could kind of be this character that I created. And so, yeah, don't be afraid to be yourself. And another example of that, really, I don't know if you know this guy, Kid Bandit.
Yeah.
He's been making waves on the West Coast, especially. And he is another guy. It's like, don't be afraid to be yourself. People are accepted now for whatever their sexuality, sexual orientation is. And he's a guy who has just been off the walls, like his wrestling style, his persona. It's very like non-traditional, you could say. He's got some crazy rainbow hair. And super cool guy. Trained with him down at the Nightmare Factory, and just really nice guy. But just a lesson in not being afraid to be yourself.
Yeah, no, it's great advice. Definitely great advice, man. So yeah, Sky. I always try to do that for Sky also, because I know like she started training. Now it's probably more than like 10 weeks now. I know she took a break. So she loves like listening on in to these interviews. So she's followed a lot of people that I've interviewed on here. So maybe you'll go to UK. I told you, elbow, Sky, elbow the trainers. So, but yeah, so we'll go back over like, the matches you got coming up so people can come and support you. So, again, like we said, you and KTB at UWA Elite. You can actually watch that. It's funny. Like I checked out with Melissa one night. We signed up for the UWA Elite website, and we were going through like old shows and stuff. So definitely check that out if you guys want to see this. This will be a great match, and of course, you and Gangone. Why not?
March. Full Faith Wrestling in Deer Park, Long Island at MYWC Sportatorium. That's going to be a fire match, and it's for the Full Faith Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. So I am not holding back.
Oh.
I know that's like your number one guy. As maybe your number like 8 guy, I'm coming for Gang going there.
I need to redo my list. I don't even know my list anymore. I'm like lost. Like, trying to actually sit and put together my list is impossible for me nowadays. I'm like, now it's just like husband, whatever. Like I gave up trying to freaking number all my husbands. I was like, I can't. Like I just, it's
Cool. Just an amorphous.
that's
cool.
it. It's it. If you're in, you're in. Like pretty much. That's just how it is. But tell everybody again, like, you know, where they can find you on the socials and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, of course. I'm on Twitter, Joey_Silver. Same thing on Instagram. A lot of fun things happening on there. And really trying to build out my TikTok too. So feel free to go on over, check out TikTok. I'm Joey Silver Wrestling on TikTok. I just don't call it Tic Tac.
TikTok. Guys, hungry. You want some
so
candy?
fun content I post on TikTok that I don't really post anywhere else. So yeah, check it out.
They're funny. Definitely go check them out. Some of the stuff that you do with your brother is hysterical. Like it cracks me. And then you get your mom involved too, which is great too. Yeah. So it's definitely like great. What?
My mom, she is a star.
Yeah. She's great. She's so great. Oh man. So, but I guess we're gonna wrap that up, Joey. It's always pleasure, you know, like, you know, you're gonna come back with some more crazy stories. I know even like Leroy told me that if he comes back that he needs to be in Japan or something, that he feels he needs to top his last interview. No, but it's always fun. I'm glad, like, you know, again, everything you've gone through, you know, it's amazing to watch your journey. You know, you're a great friend. You know, I can't wait to see like where you go from here.
Thank you. You as well. It's always a pleasure coming on, talking to you, and seeing you at the shows. So I'm excited for the next one, wherever that may be.
I know. Clone machine. Let me know. Where's the clone machine, guys? Where's the clone machine? Let me know. I need like, or somebody invent this for me, please. You know, like, you know, there's a lot of people I try to support what I can. So, but I'll be watching. Like I said, Melissa's in the chat, so Melissa will be sending me your stuff over with KTV because I definitely want to check that out. So, guys, yeah, so I'm gonna wrap that up like I said. So this week's a busy week with interviews. Aaron Brooks coming on tomorrow, and Alex Zane is returning on Wednesday. Theo Ivory's coming on Thursday, so make sure you're following the Indie Wrestling Corner on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff so you can watch the schedule. But yeah, so you guys know the drill. Stay safe, support independent wrestling, and you guys have a good night.